How you doing, guys? My name is Jeff Keltz, and I want you to imagine that you're a retailer and you've got 100 suppliers and you love their products and you want to start selling the product right away. But you know that for those 100 retailers, you're going to have to figure out all the business requirements, connect to their data system, then you're going to finally test that integration, and then you can go live. Well, imagine for those 100 suppliers, you wanted to get them all integrated in 2 weeks. Now, a lot of times you may hear that and go, oh my God, no, that's not possible. There's going to be custom development, a bunch of mapping we're going to have to do. That's just not feasible, 2 weeks. But imagine if for those 100, 2 weeks was possible. Well, that's why we want to introduce you to the idea of lean commerce. Lean commerce. What is lean commerce? Well, lean commerce is breaking requirements down, empowering all your users, and creating a platform that anticipates requirement changes. And that's what we're doing at Logicbroker. We're fully embodying this idea of lean commerce because we think traditional weighty platforms just don't get stuff done fast enough. So what we do is we empower our users with powerful, usable tools. I'm going to show you today how we do that. First, we do that with documentation. Before we even start an integration, we provide all the documentation up front. And we find that that greatly reduces the amount of back and forth you have in an integration for telephone calls, technical discussions, and also that minimizes the time that you need to spend going through emails and figuring out small technical details. The same goes for our developer portal. It is so comprehensively documented that developers spend less time trying to figure out requirements and more time coding. The next thing that we do is we have user interfaces in place that empower all the users. Consider the case of end users. What happens a lot of time when I'm demoing our product, I'll go through different portions of it and I'll ask, do you have any questions? And what happens 9 times out of 10 is the user says, no, I don't have any questions. Everything is self-explanatory. And that's the key word. That's exactly what you want your users to say, that everything was self-explanatory. You want your end users to feel like they can use your product easily without much problem. But also, we empower the people behind the scenes as well, people who actually work with Logicbroker day to day. So what we do is we give them powerful user interfaces so they don't have to know technical things like SQL or coding. They don't have to know that because the interfaces allow less technical individuals to complete technical tasks accurately and effectively. The next big part of what we do is with testing. And testing is important because what we find is that a lot of people go and they wait for all their ducks to be lined up in a row and then they'll do an end-to-end test. But we find that just doesn't work because that wastes too much time. So what do? Well, once a requirement is fulfilled, that's when we start testing it. That way, by the time we get to an end-to-end test, we're not actually looking to find bugs. No, rather, the end-to-end test is just another form of validation. But the last and probably one of the most important things about lean commerce is creating a platform that anticipates requirement changes. What happens a lot of times is on these complex integration projects, once one requirement is changed in any part of the process, the whole project comes to a standstill. Well, we don't think that's the way it should be. So what we do is when a requirement changes, we figure out which part of the integration that affects, and we work on that. One requirement change does not slow down the whole project. So that's what lean commerce is all about. It's faster, it's working smarter, and we find that that provides so much value to retailers because now those 100 suppliers, you're not doing each project one after the other. No, you're doing those projects concurrently, and that allows you to get 100 suppliers done in 2 weeks. But maybe not just 100, maybe 200, 1,000. Anything is possible when you get lean. If you would like to find out more information, you can find us in booth 2607. We're in the Magento Pavilion. And thank you for listening, or you can check us out on logicbroker.com.